Good morning, Flosstube. It's Lynette here from X-Stitch and Hexagons. It is Monday, January the 22nd, and it is very hot here in Brisbane, Australia. We're having a bit of a heat wave here. Yesterday and today's highs are 37-ish, which is getting up to 100 Fahrenheit, and our lows are only 28, which is about 80 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's just hot. And the only place to be is inside with the air conditioning and the fan. And down here in Australia, we're watching the Australian Open tennis comp as well, which is good. It's a very big contrast to those of you in the Northern Hemisphere who are having ice and snow, and it's the exact opposite of what we're happening here. So I've made some notes today, which I hopefully can attach to this video, which I didn't do last time. So we'll work through my notes. I've been doing a Bringo with the Magazine Monthly cross-stitch Facebook group, which is run by Carolyn Zook and Robin Hall. And it's been a lot of fun, but I must admit, by the time I get to about 2021 called, I'm ready for it to be done and just work on other things, but we always see it through to the end. So the first one I've done some work on is Despinas Anenome by Avlea Designs, and mine was just a bit kit. You can get a table runner, which is extension of this, and I finished the middle section. And it goes this way, not that it doesn't really matter. And I've got all that back stitched down the middle. There is a mistake in it. Good luck if you can find it, but I misread the pattern. But it's minor and I'm not going to worry about it. So I would like to finish that one very soon. So that was only called once, I believe. Oh no. It's got another call yet. I've got one more call on that. If it happens to be the last call, January 25th call, I'll just keep working on it until it's finished. I think that's my plan. The next one hasn't been called yet, but I'll just show it anyway. It's I Still Do. It's this. This is for one with words. And I have changed the top. Well, I am changing the top to say I Still Do, and it's got letters and things. So I've got to the bottom, but I haven't done anything more with that yet because it hasn't been called. But I am looking forward to getting that one out again. Furry Friends, this one, which is no longer available. I even looked up the artwork of Judy Mastrangelo, but she doesn't appear on Heaven and Earth Designs either. So I did a little bit more. I got a bit more in here, and yeah, I just think I did a little bit, finished off some ends, and I would really like to get that one finished this year as well. So that only got called once, so that's only had one. Now my big one is Cruising the Information Highway. Just let me get all my bits organised. This beautiful one, it is getting close. I've got probably 2.5 pages to go. The last page is only like a skinny bit, but I haven't finished this corner yet because I started this as a paper chart, and I'm marking it up in Markup RXP, and even though I've stitched some of this, it's not actually marked up, and for some reason I just can't bring myself to go and mark it up and finish that page because it'll skew my figures in a good way. But I think I want to keep going with my current figures, so I think that's what's happening anyway. Here it is. So I think I worked out since January the 6th, when I last showed you, I'd done 79.2%, and I am now up to 84.1%, bar that bit that's not marked up in the corner. So here we go. So the bottom is the bottom there. I haven't marked up all that bit at the back of the car there yet, and I've still got that little patch of bookshelf to stitch. And at the moment I'm working my way across page 15. Yeah, page 15. I've just got the underneath that tire. Now that black tire, there were something like 1,300 black stitches in that black tire. And as I said, I've been watching the tennis, so it's been a good bit to work on. It's just back and forth black. So I am really enjoying this full coverage. Now I've discovered Markup RXP. I've really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to doing some more full coverage. That's my big one. I'm very excited about that, and at the moment I think if I can keep going roughly at the pace I'm going, I should be able to finish it by the end of February. If not a bit earlier, which would be great. I've signed up for the Cottage Country samplings series, and I must admit I've been a bit slow going with this. I don't know whether it's because I've got Bringo going and I'm trying to get daily minimum stitches in on the full coverage piece, but it'll pick up. And the new one's come out and it's a castle, and I can't wait. So my plan is if I can finish the current one in the month I will, but I'm not going to hold off the new one until the old one's finished. And as you can see, I haven't done a lot. I'm about barely halfway down on the roof there. And I'm getting there's two flosses that come out with it each time apart from the DMC, so I'm getting the two flosses as well, and I'm just waiting for my invoice from A Stitch in Time to come. She's waiting on the threads, and when the threads arrive she'll send us an invoice and number 2 will be here. So you never know. Now Bringo's coming towards an end, I might get a bit more done on that one. So that was only on my Bringo board once as well. Oh, here's my Bringo board, by the way. So you can see I've got some Bringos finally. It took forever. So I'll talk about this one when I get to it. So there's just 4 more calls. Christmas's Hawk Run Hollow, which has also got another call yet. So I've worked on this one just once, and I've got another one to go. I think the bird, something with a bird, and of course it's got a peacock. So that's this one, and I just really want to work on that house. So I got to the house. Now, and as you say, I haven't finished the first one yet either. But anyway, that's the way it rolls. See this up here? Look at all this white snow. So I decided I wasn't going to do that. I'm just doing this basically in DMC. I'm not doing the called for. But I did order some threads. So I ordered, because you can't tell online. So this is Classic Colourworks Snowball, which is a bit plain. It's bright. But this one, other one I ordered, is Week Styleworks Snowflake. And it's got, I don't know whether you can see, it's got a bit of variegation in it. It's got a bit of bluey and yeah, it's not really showing up too well. Yeah, you can see a bit of the blue just here. So I'm thinking of using that for that bottom bit rather than just all that white. So that's my plan. So when it gets cold again, I think I'm going to keep working down here and get to the snow in the garden so I can actually play with those new threads. So yeah, come down here. Yeah, there's some doors. It probably won't be 100 stitches worth, but that's okay. I'll come back to it. I'm just moving my pile so everything's in order to be put away. So that was that one. It's got one more call. His Eyes on the Sparrow had 2 calls. That's this one that I'm sure you all know, and I'm just up in this top corner. This pot of flowers is taking me forever. I think because I've only worked on it in bits. So I decided for my last call working on, I'd work on that basket, and you can barely see the variation in the two colour threads. The reason for that is because I misread the symbol. So I thought it was an X, but the symbol's actually X with a dot in it. And so I've got, I should have pulled this out. So Old Hickory is the first one, and Grecian Gold I thought was the second one. But as you can see here, Grecian Gold is an X, but it is actually this one here, which I'm just using the DMC for. And I just misread the chart. Where is it down here? You can sort of see it looks like an X, but when you get in close, it's got that dot in the middle. I'm not unpicking it. I'm not quite sure. I've sort of thought I'd work across in the top in the two colours. Maybe I'll add the correct colour in the bottom bit. I don't know yet, but I'm definitely not frogging it. And you can see a little bit of variation. So that was that one. That's right. The Partridge in a Pear Tree by Nora Corbett is the next one, and it's been called 3 times, but I haven't actually finished the 3rd time, and it's this one. So I made quite a bit of progress on the tree. I finished the lighter green, and I've started coming in with the darker. Now my thinking for this one is that when Bringo's finished on the 25th, and I've got to catch up because you've got till the end of the month to catch up, I might just pull this out and catch up with it and just keep going until it's done. I've done the bulk of it. There's probably still a little bit of stitching in that bottom bit, and then there's the beading. That's my thinking. We will see how we go. So yeah, for whatever reason I missed that day, and I thought I'll just wait till the end. No, I'll have links for all of these. This is my notes that hopefully I will attach in the drop down box this week, and I've got some links where you can get some of these things. So we had the magazine one, which is one that's been sitting around for ages. Oh, that's the bag that I've got my Partridge in a Pear Tree. I made that bag with some fabric I was given. So this one, this Cross Stitcher magazine, is issue 200, which is from ages ago. And this is Country Companion's Wedding. It's this one here. And there's a nice colour chart that I've just done in black and white so I can mark off all the confetti. And it's not just confetti, it's confetti and blending in these hedgehogs. So I worked down the side of the bride. Sort of the aiming was to try and get a lot of that confetti out of the way. But it was only called once. Yeah, it was only called once. So I just got my head back around it and worked in here. So that's that one. And then where do we go next? Death by Cross Stitch. So here it is, and the green's what I'm working on. So I jumped around it a little bit all over the place with this one. I think I finished this line here. I did a little bit of this. I started something else, and then I went down somewhere, did a bit more. Oh, in here, I think. So it was a bit hard to see. And it's got one more call too. Yeah, so I've just jumped around all in this areas here. Did a whole butterfly. But I'd love to get this out again too. So this will be, I'm pretty sure this will come a focus for a finish a bit later in the year. Because this one and the Cruising the Information Highway HAED are my 2 oldest whips, I think. Certainly my 2 I've been working on for the longest. Then we have Camberly Sampler. Oh, now, while I'm on Long Dog, a couple of things I discovered. They've got a new chart out called Act of God. So Death by Cross Stitch is 363 stitches by 447 stitches. The New Act of God is 361 by 363. So it's about 100 or so stitches less on one side. It's more or less square. And I did start Saga for, I think that was when we did AB Singo. I started Saga. Now Saga is 389. So the other two are around 360. So it's about 20-30 stitches wider. But it's 504 stitches in the other direction. And she told us that when it came out, when she was releasing it, it was going to be the biggest one ever. I'm sort of thinking of not continuing. I've only done one little bit of it and having a go at that Act of God. But I'm going to finish Death by Cross Stitch before I make any decisions on that one. And then I noticed when you look up Saga on her website, there's a free PDF and it tells you a story about each of the windows. If you know Saga, it's got all the arches. Yeah, there's a PDF there that you can read about all the bits as you're stitching, which I thought was quite fun. So I've only done, yeah, barely one window of it, one archway of it. So I'm going to think about that because she keeps coming out with lovely new things. So we will see. But finish Death by Cross Stitch, and then because I also have Sans Souci of hers, and have I got another one? I know Sans Souci's on the go. We will see as the mood takes you. So that's Song Dog Samplers. Then the next one was Camberly, and sorry, I've got notes in two different directions here. Camberly Sampler, it was only called once. Oh, that's the rest of my, and it's in that bag. I think I told you before, this is a Carolyn Manning design. It was a stitch along with Lakeside, the English shop that I finally finished and made it into this bag, which I really love getting that one out. So, you know, it's like a Death by Cross Stitch, a long-term project to enjoy the bag. Camberly Sampler by Rosewood Manor. It was just called once. I can't remember what it was for, but can't remember what the call was, but I worked on. Oh, this was one that someone else chose for you. So it was a double whammy because I saw it on Carolyn Zook's cross stitch, but then my friend Jenny and I, we picked five whips each and picked, you know, one to work on. We had to choose. Sorry, I'm not explaining this very well. It had to be a whip that someone else chose for you. So that's why we did it. We chose 5 and then decided she chose this one, basically. So the bird's coming along nicely there. And I just did the hour or the 100 stitches or whatever for that one, and it was just called once because that definitely will be coming out. Then we go to Twisted Band Sampler, which is this one. Twisted Band Sampler. You can see a lot of my projects are just in plastic, despite the fact I can make my own project bags. So this is Twisted Band Sampler. This is the cross stitch version, and I finished those bands. So yeah, the band's above the butterfly. So the butterfly's next. Now while I was on, and if you remember last week, I had this bag of threads and I couldn't work out what they were for. They're actually for this. Made perfect sense when I was putting everything away. I thought, oh, that's what they're for. Now while I was looking for links, I've been playing around on a computer on websites. So when I was on her website looking for a link to put in there for you, I found she had a freebie from a while back. So Valentine's Day is coming up. Little Heart Swirl, it's called. So I printed that off, and I might have a go at that. So the freebie from Northern Expressions Needlework, and she does have a new Christmas one. It's got specialty stitches. As I said before, I have done specialty stitches, but lately I just enjoy doing cross stitch, so I might wait and see if she does a just cross stitch version of it. And then we had to do one in that was inspired by a pet. I don't have a pet, but my friend Jenny has cats and my daughter has 2 black cats. So I chose, hold on, just get there, Cats Reading by Irena Garmashova. And I'd done a page on this before, and I really enjoyed getting this out again. It was very hard putting it back in its box because I want to finish cruising before I do anything else. Well, sort of. So I just moved it across a little bit up here. This is the ear of that mouse here. Just his ear starting to come in there. This is going to be a lot of fun. Now, cruising the information highways is on 22 count hardanger, which I really enjoyed using, and his eyes on the Sparrow is also on that. I think this is a 20 count. I'm not sure. I'll have to count it again. I'm not sure whether it's a 20 count even weave, but it was lovely working on this one strand over one pull cross. I think it must be a 20 count because the other one being 22, this was just a bit easier to see. So while I was looking for Cats Reading link on Heaven and Earth Designs, golly, you shouldn't go on there. It's bad. Oh, and while I'm at it, I just have my threads on bobbins. So I've got 2 methods of keeping them. One is just in a box because I find it just so easy to just go, oh yeah, there's 340. His eyes on the Sparrow is on a ring, and actually it drives me crazy at the thread ring because you're hunting through all these threads. So I just find this easier. I've also got a bag with pockets that I might show you more next time for the other one, because hopefully it'll be emptied out soon. Anyway, getting back to what I was saying, while I was on Heaven and Earth Designs and I'm looking up Cats Reading or something, this came up. Oh, look at this. This is Winter Reading Nook by Amy Stewart. How gorgeous is that? It's got I love quilting. I love crocheting granny squares. And the books. Cup of tea. And the cats. I am very tempted by this one. But all I've got at the moment is a printout of the screenshot. Very tempted. I think it's, I actually didn't look up, but I think it's one of those ones that's 600 by 400 or something. I should look up that. Anyway, I've got a link for that on my notes for you if you're tempted as well. So a couple of other things. That was basically all my Brringo projects. So hopefully next time I'll have progress on another 5 of those to show you when we wrap up Brringo. So then I think I mentioned last time I've got a couple of cells. I've got the houses one from Country Cottage Samplings, and this is the 2024 cell project I chose. Now you can't get this anymore, I'm sorry, but it is part of an Amy Stewart, I think, bigger design. But you can only get these when you're signed up before the end of 2023. So my plan with this one is once Brringo is finished, I'll work my around 400 stitches on the cruising the information highway, and then I'll work 100 stitches on this, roughly, depending on what else is going. I mean, there's things going on in life. Not all these targets get met, but it's something to work for. So I've done a little bit more in that top corner because oops. I think my magnet just flew off and I don't know where it's gone. Oh. I'll have to find it afterwards. My needle minder. Yeah, so I've done a little bit more, just a little bit. Because, you know, your Facebook notifications pop up and here's these people making masses of ground on these wonderful charts. Anyway, so that's that cell. And then the third cell that I haven't started, but would like to start, and again, we'll see how Brringo goes. Once I've got Brringo done and once I get cruising finished, I think things will free up a bit to work a bit. Babbling there. I think you get the idea. So this is the Fox and Rabbit stitch along for 2023. It's Faith, Hope and Love. And this is last year's start. And I actually really enjoyed it when I worked on it, but I just had, last year was last year. Anyway, but I've got a big piece of fabric. So I am thinking of starting it again on this end for this year's one, using the same Silks for You. Again, lovely project bag. Actually, this was just a bag I had the silk in. I've got a magnet, a needle minder there ready to go that matches my thread, and I've got a little bit of bling, and I've put some on these. This is Silks for You PR 126, which I bought ages ago now. I've just thrown another needle minder on the floor. I'll stick that back in there. So that's my thinking. Thrown it on the floor again. But I'd like to start that, because like this first motif here is 70 by 70, but it's like a Quaker, so it's not full coverage. And then there's a little tiny one that's about 25 square. So I'm thinking maybe this might be a bit easier to keep up with this year and have little motifs that you can just, you know, have little finishes as you go along. So that's my other plan. Oh, and then there's one more thing that Carolyn Zook does flip throughs of For the Love of Cross Stitch. No, just cross stitch. Hold on a minute. Just cross stitch. When she did December one, she showed this one, and I've just done a screenshot, so it's not brilliant because I actually have the Readly subscription, so I get my cross stitch magazines through there, most of them, not all of them. What's that Primitive Punch Needle and Needlework? That one, that's not on there. Anyway, so this gives you a bit of an idea. And someone was talking about it in her notes in one of the groups, and I misread it, and I thought it said the struggle is real, and I'm thinking, wow, that sounds like a really interesting sell. The struggle is real. And I wrote on it, where can you find it? And no, it wasn't the struggle was real. It was the snuggle. The snuggle is real. And it is so cute. And it's actually a bothy threads design. So I just pinned off a picture to show you. But that is starting on February the 14th. So I think I will start that for February the 14th. And I'm working on my acrostic for February. The theme is the meadow, and I think at this point I've got Avlea's Anenome in it, because an anemone is a flower and you'd find flowers in a meadow, but I might change my mind. This one might be one of the S's, because it was snowshoe is the acrostic. So there's this for one of the S's, and then one of the other S's will definitely be Randal Spangler, Cruising Information Highway, and I might try and work that into a couple more, because I'd really like to have that finished by the end of February. We'll just see how we go. But if I don't work on that Cruising Information Highway for a day, I feel like I'm really missing it. So I'm enjoying that. I'm also doing a little bit of crocheting. I go to a knitting group on Friday, and they've got the Year of the Blanket. So it's on the first weekend of each month, and I will show you some of that next time, because the first one's a crochet one, and it's crochet squares that are all different patterns. So that should be fun for the yarn part of my life. And I'm also crocheting some animals that I will show you later on as well. They're just pottering along, no rush. Though my great nephew is waiting on a dinosaur from this new book I've got. I'll talk about that next time when I've got something to show you. So, and I'm sorry if I'm not looking in the right place. I practice beforehand, which ruins the fun. Sorry, that's an old song reference there. yeah, I think that's all I've got to say for today. So enjoy the rest of your January. I hope our weather, wherever we are, whether it's too cold or too hot, evens out for us all and we can relax a bit more. And hopefully I will catch you in a couple of weeks. Bye.